Okay, and we are going to cover the Fortigate firewall specifically with reference to the security topics, what is being mentioned into the certifications. Uh, and I have more than a decade of working in the cybersecurity industry, as in TAC and beyond it. Okay, so I have it's like what I like bring on is the vast experience, what I have worked with the customers ranging from the small SMEs towards the enterprise level accounts, okay, throughout the globe. That is what I do. So uh, I will bring up the troubleshooting. That is my core strength. Okay, so that is what I do even today. Now, that being said, let me quickly share my screen and show you about the content of the course, and then we will move on gradually as to tell you how this course is going to move further and when and as and when we are like going to have this pattern up. Okay. So let me just let me know if you see my screen. Okay. Do you see my screen?
Yes, Rohan.
Okay. So see you. The thing is, as I said, that this batch is going to be a combination of NSE 4 and 7, right? The reason behind that is because of the modules which is covered in NSE 4 and 7 is exactly same. In NSE 7, we need to go in much more details, whereas in NSE 4, the focus is only onto the configuration and basic troubleshooting. That is what you need to know. But you do not need to know the functioning or the backend process of the FortiGate firewall. But NSE 7 wants you to know as how and it's like how does a firewall process that traffic? Okay, let's say for an example, if I say that I'm going to configure a policy which will have a UDM feature in order to block any application function. Okay, so NSE 4 will tell you how you can do that. But how does a firewall achieve that task? That is something which NSE 7 will tell you onto it. That what happened when the packet reached to the FortiGate firewall, what did the firewall do? Okay, how did the UDM features worked in like the backend? Okay, what are the processes that are in effect when it tries to analyze the traffic? Okay, so in short, NSE 7 requires you to have an in-depth knowledge, whereas NSE 4 just simply wants you to have a overview of the FortiGate firewall configuration. Now, that being said, like I said, that NSE 4 and 7 has a content almost as same. So let's go through. Okay, I see some message in there. Just give me a moment. There's no sound. Mukesh is saying there is no sound. Is that the case with everyone?
I am here, sir. Okay.
So for Mukesh is fine?
Yeah, yes, sir. Okay.
Okay then. Fine. So see here. Let's go through the content of the course. Okay. Sorry. So starting with, we are going to have the introduction, like what is the FortiGate firewall and how it is designed. Okay, the basics of the FortiGate firewall, which will also cover the points like how we can set up the firewall for the first time. Okay, like setting up the interfaces, manageability of the users, okay, defining the policies, seeing the logs and all. So all those things will be covered into that. Next one is security fabric, which is the concept or the feature of the firewall, which helps the firewall to integrate with the same vendor product like FAG, FMG, okay, FSSO, and likewise, as well as with the other or the third party products. Like for example, you want to have your firewall integrated with a threat feed server, you can do that. You want your firewall to integrate with any kind of MTP or maybe the cloud, the public and the private clouds, whether it is a Kubernetes, Azure, GCP, Amazon, Oracle, OCI, VMware, EXI, whatever the product is, your firewall can integrate with any of those environments. Okay, so that is what the security fabric concept is. And like we are supposed to go through those concepts as well. The next one is firewall policies. As what is the policies? What are the features into the policies? How does the policy works? Okay. The NATing concept, which will cover the SNAT as well as the DNAT. Okay. So we are going to see what are the NATing that has been supported by your Fortigate firewall. Okay. In terms of firewall authentication, we will see that how you can integrate your firewall with the authentication servers like LDAP, Radius, single sign-on, okay, as well as mostly with reference to how you can manage your firewall with reference to admin accounts. Okay, so that is something which we will see with reference to authentications, logging and monitoring, of course, where to see the logs, okay, what types of logs you can see, what type of events you can see, how to read that, which will include the debug, okay, which will include the debug as well as the packet captures. Okay, so these things will be it's like discussed thoroughly as what are the tools we have in order to mitigate the problem. Okay, we will also see the certificate behavior of the Fortigate firewall as and when, how does the Fortigate firewall make use of the certificate to ensure that your network is more secure, okay, than a normal traditional network. And these are the UTM features, okay, here. Web filter, application control, antivirus, IPS. There are a few more like file filter, video filter, email filter. Okay, so on and around 7 to 8 UTM features we are going to see as how we have to configure and how they are going to work and all. Okay, as part of VPN, we are going to cover the SSL VPN as well as IPsec VPN. Okay, in the IPsec, we are going to cover the site-to-site as well as dial-up. Okay, so the VPNs will be covered. Okay, in terms of routing, we are going to see the concept with reference to static, policy-based routes, BGP, and OSPF. These are the routing that we are going to cover. We are going to cover the SD-WAN concept, which is inbuilt in the Fortigate firewall. We are going to see also the concept of VDOM, okay, the concept of HA, that is clustering. So how does the cluster work? What is the concept behind it? How you can troubleshoot a cluster problems? Okay, I'm muting you. If there is a question, please raise your hands, okay, so that I can pause to take your questions. Okay, fine. So, see here. So we are all, and this diagnostic means basic troubleshooting, okay, in order to determine that what could be the cause of the problem. So that's the overall section or the modules that has to be covered in the NSE 4. Okay. Now, if I want to compare that with the NSE 7, you will find that almost all the topics are same, except you will see here architecture is added, right? But if you watch closely, introduction will cover that. Okay. Logging part is done. FortiGuard is a new topic here. Restall is same, right? In one more thing, the VPN, right? In the IPsec, there is one more form of an VPN, that is AED VPN. So we are also going to cover that. So if you take these 3 topics as an add-on, rest all the topics are the same what we saw in the NSE 4, right? So like I said, the topics for NSE 4 and 7 are same. Okay, the only difference is the extent of the knowledge that we need to have for each and every topic. So that being said, the motive of this batch or this course is that if we are going to start a topic, we will start it from basic and we will go till the top. Okay, So that's why once you are done with this course, you can set for NSE 4 or 7 both. Okay. Clear? Clear with the topics that we are going to cover with reference to the FortiGate firewall? Okay, yeah, Shivam, please tell me.
Hi, sir. Good evening. How are you?
Yeah, all good, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I have been looking to your videos from the batch. I'm a student of All Access Pass. I
Okay.
really like your content and will look forward to join sooner as well.
Sure.
I joined little late, but I have a doubt. You
Mhm.
said you will be covering NSC 4 and NSC 7. Yep. But recently, I think a year ago or 6 months, Fortinet has changed their certificate. Uh,
Correct.
the name and everything is changed.
Yes.
And how can you describe that with the content available on the internet on their website? Is it
No,
same?
okay. Okay, yes, it's the same. Okay, let me clear the clutter with reference to the certifications, okay?
Yep.
So I share my screen, just a moment. Just a moment, okay? I will just share it quickly. Okay, let me know if you see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Clear?
Yeah, it's clear. Yes.
Okay, so see, this is the official website of the Fortinet. Anyone can navigate to this, and they are carrying a list of the certifications here, okay, of several levels. Okay, now let me show you one thing. For example, if I'm looking at the, yeah, okay, let me see this FCP. Okay, see. So if you want, well, see what they have done is the certifications are still same, but what they have done is the tagging, the batches. Okay, so let's say you want to be an FCP certified. That means Fortinet certified professional. Okay, then in order to be an FCP, you need to cover or you need to complete 3 certifications. That means one is NSE 4, other one is FCP, which is for the Fortigate administrator. That's the basic certification to know how you can manage your firewall. Okay, so I think if you cover the NSE 4 and 7, FCP is nothing for you. Okay, and out of these listed, you have to cover any one. Okay, so these are for different products. Okay, so Fortinet is a company which is into the security where it has got a lot of products. Okay, Fortigate is the next gen firewall, which is one of the product of the Fortinet. Similarly, there are several other products like Forti Analyzer, which is a logging tool and like reporting tool. Forti Manager, which is used to manage several Fortinet appliances from a single uh, GUI. Okay, and you have Forti Switch, which will act as a switch. You have Forti Auth, which can act as an authentication server. Okay, you have Forti AP, which will act as an access point, that is your Wi-Fi routers. Okay, so likewise, there are a lot of several products. Okay, so that is what they have clubbed in, that if you are certified with 3 certificates of matching with these, then you will be earning the batch of FCP. Okay, but that means NSE 4 is a mandate. These are the core exams. That means you do not have an option. Okay, so it says now you are required to pass one core exam, right? So out of these two, you have to clear one. Okay, so if you clear NSE 4, your core is done.
So, sir, earlier this FCP was part of NSC 1 to 3, right?
Ha. So before what was see, before there was no FCP or something like that. There was NSC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till 8. Okay. And what was the case was like anyone can do the NSC 7 for the Fortigate as well as NSC 7 for some different products. Okay. So that's why they have clubbed it. Now, if I go back and show you one thing, see here. Just give a moment. I will show you. Let it load. Okay. So see, under the FCP, there is security operations, network security, and public cloud, right? Okay. So what they have done is they have distributed the certification batches with reference to the domains. We all know that there is an on-prem device, right? And there is a cloud security, correct? Yes or no? So if let's say you want to pursue your career with reference to the clouds and all, you will go with cloud security. Okay, so if you will open the cloud security, see here the core examinations, which is entirely different with reference to the Amazon. Okay, AWS, NSE 6, that is NSE 6. Okay, and the other examination what you can take is also NSE 4, that is with reference to the Fortigate Firewall. Okay, so now here the NSE 4 is an optional which you can choose for, but mostly what you will see is NSE 4 and 7 is part of most of the certifications that you want to earn. Okay, now that being said, let me show you one more thing. Solution specialist, network security. Okay, now see here, we have to pass the core examination, right? There is only one option, firewall, NSE 7 firewall, the one which we are here to talk about. Okay, and any one of these. Okay, so like I said that I will be covering the SD-WAN features as well, so you will not be getting a harder time to crack the NSE 7 SD-WAN. Okay, because somewhat we are going to cover that part also. Okay. Clear?
So, sir, this complete NSC 7 will be covered in our course module, right?
When you say this complete, I'm only talking about this one.
Okay, so if we want to be certified for NSC 7, we have to give both core and elective exams as well.
No, if you want to be certified for FCSS, then
Okay.
you have to go. But if you want to be NSE 7 certified, then this is a only examination. Please note, every exam will have a different cost. Okay, so if you are going for this examination, you have to pay the separate amount. If you are going for any of these one, you have to pay a separate amount. These are separate certifications. But if you have gained one or two of these combination, then you can earn the batch for FCSS. That is what this case is. Clear? So it is not that the NSE 4 and 7 has been removed. That's not the case. You can still go for the NSE 4 and 7. Okay. Clear?
Yes, sir, clear. Sir, sorry, I was going through website one day and
Yeah.
I was going to the content, but the content is really overwhelming. So I started reviewing your video. It's really helpful. I really appreciate your content.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Fine. So, okay. So I think we are clear with the content that we are going to cover with reference to Fortigate Firewall, right? Guys? Do we have a doubt onto that?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yeah. Okay. So now see, the next thing is how this batch is going to proceed. Okay. Whatever the concept, because see here, of course, we are going to do the theory part. That is a must. Okay. Mostly focusing on to the concepts. That is what my core focus would be. I do not want anyone to focus on the configuration or on the command line. Okay. That may sound weird, but that is the fact. Configuration and command line is something that the more lab you do, those things automatically comes into play. Okay. So that's not a concern. The focus entirely would be on the concept. Means if I am discussing about web filtering, we should know how a web filter concept functions. Okay, what is the behind the scene action? Okay, the reason behind that is because whether the web filtering is in the Fortigate firewall or any other product, the essence of web filtering or the functioning will never change, right? After all the products has to follow the same RFC standard. Okay, so we will try to grasp the concept so that no matter what the product is in front of you, you only need to focus on to their respective design and like configuration structure. That's all. You don't have to worry about their functioning because you know how 90% of those functions do work. Okay, because we are going to learn all the things with reference to the RFCS standards. That's the focus. Okay, so that being said, we will start with the theory, trying to understand and crack the concepts of each and every topic. Once we are done with that, then that will be followed by the lab. Okay, so once you enroll into the course, each one of you would be receiving an welcome email which will contain the login credentials for the lab access. Okay, so there we have the labs. Okay, so what I will be doing and what you guys can also do from. Okay, so like this is one of the lab. Now please note, you will not be having the access to design the lab, but if you want to have any kind of a customized topology, okay, you have to let me know. I will create it for you then and there. So that's not a problem. Okay, as many topology you want, I can do it for you. Please note, whatever the lab that I will be doing, those configurations will not be reflected to any one's lab. Okay, only the structure will be replicated, not the config. So you have to do the configuration by your own. Now, see, I will not be giving any task or I will not be asking to do any lab which I have not done and shown by myself. I will be doing each and every lab. I will show you how to do it. We will verify the logs. We will try to prove what we have learned in the theory. Okay, so the concept that I will try to build, I will also prove the same thing into the lab, because after all, at the end of the day, we all have to believe the logs, right? We are not here to believe mine or anyone's word, right? Whatever the logs will tell us, we are going to believe that. And if the log says that, hey, this is how the traffic will be processed, this is how the certain protocol behaves, this is how a certain configuration behaves, that this is how a certain functionality works, we will believe that. Okay, so for each and every concept, we are going to do the lab. Most of the labs will be done by me. Not most, all of the labs will be done by me. Okay, the only thing you have to do is focus. That's all. Okay, so clear with the lab structure, how we are going to proceed with the theory and the lab. I see some questions. Let me take that. What are the prerequisites for the course program? What are the class timing? What are the duration of the course? Okay, fine. I will answer that. What will be the course length and tentative? Okay, fine. So see, prerequisite for the course. I have a simple prerequisite, okay? If you know what is IP address, if you know what is MAC address, if you have a basic, a common understanding of OSI model, that is network layers, right? Transport layers, right? Ethernet header, IP header, and all. Like I'm not talking about the header knowledge and all, but I'm talking about you know what the IP header is. You know what the TCP UDP means. Okay, if you know this much, that is sufficient. You do not need to have any background of a network or any background of a security professional. No, you do not need to. That is something which I will give you here. That's not a problem. The only thing is you should be comfortable with the basic terms that we use in the network, like IP, MAC address, right? Subnet. Okay, so like I'm saying that, hey, this is a layer 7 protocol. So what does this mean, layer 7 protocol? So I'm talking about OSI model, right? Application layer. If I say, hey, this is a layer 3 protocol, layer 3 means what? Network layer. Correct. So if you know this much, That's enough for this. Okay. Clear? Now, what are the class timings? The class timing is going to be from 9 to 11 p.m. in the IST zone. Okay. So it is going to be minimum 2 hours of class, and it can extend depending upon how the class is moving further. Okay, so it's up to you guys, but minimum 2 hours, 9 to 11. And the
Sir, is it,
days, yes, please,
sorry to interrupt, is it weekend or weekday?
weekdays. This is a weekday batch, and the class would be from Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Wednesday
Okay.
there will be no class, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So 4 days in a week. Okay, during the week days. Clear?
Understood, sir. Yes.
Now, what is the duration of the course and the program? So see, that depends upon the batch. There is no hardline fixed timing for that. Okay, it's like we do not follow a strict batch timeline that, okay, this batch has to become covered within 4 weeks, 5 weeks, or 30 hours, 40 hours. No, it's entirely upon how the batch wants me to move further. Okay, so because everyone has a different pace. Okay, so on an average, if you're going to ask me, I would need 50 hours on an average, 50 hours to complete the entire module. But if it needs me to extend beyond that, I'm okay. Like I said, every day the pace of the class or the pace of the topic will be determined by the people who are in the batch, not by me or not by the networking. Okay, we do not do that. How you want me to go, I will go. If you will say that, hey, please take up the pace, I will take up the pace. You want me to go slow, I will go slow. Okay, so not a problem. It's entirely up to you. Okay. Next question is, will this course provide me with the skills and knowledge needed to administer the Office Fortigate firewall effectively? Of course. And why we want to only administer the Fortigate firewall? Allow me to go further. If once you are done with the course, you can play with your firewall. That is what I would say. Okay, you can troubleshoot any problem that is linked to your firewall. Okay, like I said, see, I myself bring a vast experience of working with several customers. Okay, so you will see while the batch will progress, the examples or the troubleshooting questions that I will be talking about in the class is going to be a real time, on which I myself have worked on. Okay, so you will see what are the real time challenges that the companies face, how to fix it, how to narrow down, right? Because after all, troubleshooting job is not to fix the problem, right? If anyone thinks that I'm a troubleshooter and I'm going to fix the problem, that's the biggest mistake that any troubleshooter can do. We are not here to fix the problem. We are here to narrow down the problem, right? Narrowing down the problem and fixing a problem are two different things. See, if a customer says that my LAN is having an intermittent internet connectivity problem, okay? So that issue could have been caused because of DNS problem, right? That issue could have been caused because of ISP. That issue could have been caused because of any of the intermittent devices that is in that path. That issue could also have been caused because of proxies that might the customer would be using as an inline or the explicit or the implicit proxies, right? That issue could have been caused because of the buffer getting full, or like you may be under attacks and all. Okay, so and packet loss is going on there because of high utilization of the bandwidth. That issue could also have been caused because of the device performance issues like CPUs and like the memory. Maybe a certain process which is responsible to process a specific type of traffic that is getting choked or is in a dead or like zombie state. Okay, anything can be a reason, right, for that single issue. So that is why I said we are there to narrow down the problem. There can be 100 reasons why a user cannot reach to an internet. My job is to narrow down, to find out what is the root cause. Because once I have narrowed down the problem, the solution will follow. Okay, so the motive is not to fix the problem, the motive is to narrow down the problem. So once we decide that approach, we can fix it. So I will tell you the way to think how to troubleshoot. Of course, you have your own style to troubleshoot. Okay, that is something which no one can take. Everyone has their own way to troubleshoot. Okay, but what I will only guide you is the mindset, how you have to approach the problem. That's all. Okay, so these things we are going to discuss thoroughly into the batches. Okay, clear? Is there any question left? Please ask me if there is any further question before I move further. Anything? No? Okay. So we are clear with the timing of the batch. We are clear with the duration of the batch. We are clear with the modules that is going to be covered with reference to this batch. And the lab part is also done, right? Okay, so now today will also mark the day one of this batch. Okay, so I will be starting the first day of the topic. I see one question. Okay, fine. Okay, so this is going to be the first day, okay, for this batch as well. So we will start from the basics, because I will talk about the firewall. We'll try to know about our device, our product, what it is, how it is designed, how it is built, what does it do. Okay, so we'll talk about those basics things so that we can move further during our upcoming classes, that is from tomorrow and on. Okay, so today is the first day. Now, let's start. So see, first thing, if let's say if your car is broken or your bike is broken, so can you fix your car or your bike? You may, if you know how your bike is designed or how does it functions, right? When you turn on, or when you turn on your keys and all, when you press the ignition button, what happens? Okay, if you know all those processes and all, then you can pinpoint to the problem, right? And the same goes true for any of the vehicles or any of the equipment that is broken, right? Now, if someone is asking me to fix a problem on my product, so I can do that job only if I know the in and out of my product. So it is really critical and important for us to know how is my device designed. I'm not asking, or I'm not suggesting to know the complete in-depth designs and codes and all things of the products. That is not needed. But you should be having an overview idea how the product is designed and built. Okay, what does this do? A simple question. Okay, when a packet reaches to the firewall, right? Let's say a packet is coming to the port 1, okay, and it is trying to reach to the internet. Something would have been done on the firewall before it sent it out, right? What did the firewall do? Maybe policy check, maybe routing, maybe NATing, maybe not. Okay, maybe it had checked the certificates first or something. Who knows, right? So we need to know what did my firewall do. So to understand that point of view, let's first understand what is the building blocks of my Fortigate firewall. Okay, please note your Fortigate firewall is a next-gen firewall. By definition, a firewall is said to be a next-gen firewall if it supports IPS functionality. Now, this statement will not make a sense at this moment, but wait when I will touch the certificate and the UTM feature concept, then it will make sense. But why I am saying that, or not me, but actually in network domain, we say that our device is said to be a next gen if it supports IPS functionality. Why do we say that? Okay. Now the next thing is your firewall is a ZTNA product. That means zero trust. It does not trust anything which is coming from inside or the outside. So there is no concept of trust to untrust or untrust to trust or DMZ to trust. You can create the zones, not a problem. But for the firewall, it will treat the packet in the same manner how it will treat a LAN traffic, WAN traffic, DMZ traffic, or any traffic for that matter. Okay, so those mindsets are long gone, because in a recent cybersecurity analysis report and all, it was noted that more than 40% of the attacks were triggered from inside. Okay, and this is report what I'm talking about is a 2 to 3 years back. I think now the data would have been much more scary. Okay, so but during that time it was 40%, more than 40% of the attacks happened from inside. Okay, so those days are gone where the attacks would be coming from the outside world only. Who knows? I would have taken my compromised laptop or the phone into my company, and my phone was connected to my corporate Wi-Fi. My compromised laptop was connected to the LAN, and the entire LAN or the Wi-Fi got compromised. Who knows? Okay, so that happens. Okay, so that's why now none of the security products are getting designed in order to it's like only scrutinize the traffic with reference to coming from outside to inside. Okay, it's like no matter where the traffic is coming from, I'm going to see the packet in the minute details to find out whether this is a good or a bad traffic. Okay, now that being said, let's see the structure. So see here one thing. So this box is your Fortigate firewall. Please note, I will be using abbreviation FGT to denote Fortigate. Okay, so whenever I have to use the or write Fortigate, I will be using FGT. Now see, this box is the Fortigate firewall. So the main components of the Fortigate firewalls, of course, the processes. There are several processes which are going to be embedded into the firewall, which are supposed to perform a specific task, like for example, IKE process, okay, which is supposed to handle the VPN function, DSCP process, which is going to perform the DSCP task, right? Similarly, antiviruses, IPS, right, web filter, application control, and likewise, there are a lot of processes, okay? So those processes cannot run on the hardware directly. Think in this way. I will show you my Windows machine task manager. Now see this, there are a lot of processes running right behind the scene, correct? Lot of processes, right? But can these processes execute themselves on my hardware directly? No, na. Can I buy a laptop and simply install the Chrome onto it? No. What I need to do is install what? Operating system, right? So here also, the processes cannot interact with the hardware. When I say hardware, that means CPU and memory, okay? So they will interact with what? FortiOS. Okay, FortiOS. That's the operating system of the Fortigate firewall. Okay, please note, OS till 6.2 is now out of support. So 6.4 and onwards, that is 6.4, 7.0, 7.2. So those are still supported. Okay. So you will install the software onto your Fortigate firewall. So these processes or the applications, what is that AV, IPS, WF, or anything like that, okay? So they will be interacting with the OS, and the OS in turn will interact with CPU, okay, or the memories, or the disk spaces and all, okay? So that whatever the CPU or the memory resource that a process needs, the OS will help them to get it. Like for example, my Chrome needs a certain CPU resource, a certain memory, certain disk space, right? So does my any other task. Got it? Okay. So the same thing happens there also. So this is a basic structure of the firewall. Now see here one thing. When the firewall receives a traffic, okay, and yes guys, if you have any doubts and concern related to whatever I'm saying, okay, speak out. Do not wait for the turn, or do not wait for me to complete. Okay, whatever you have the doubt, please speak out. Okay, now see this. The packet is received on the firewall and is been sent out, right? So let's take a comparison. Okay, the comparison is between a firewall and a router. Just give a moment, I will just expand my sheet. So I'm just taking an analogy to compare. Okay, so before I do that, let me also ask one thing. Just wait.